Have you ever thought about getting remarried but wondered if you're making the right choice? Marriage later in life is a very different experience than when you were younger. And there are some truths people often overlook until it's too late. Whether you've been single for a while, recently divorced, or even widowed, remarriage brings unique challenges that can impact your finances, relationships, and happiness in ways you might not expect. In this video, we're going to explore 5 essential truths that you need to know before remarrying after 60. These insights could completely change how you see love, commitment, and long-term security at this point in your life. Too often, people jump into remarriage without thinking about how it could shape their future, only to find themselves facing stress and complications they didn't see coming. But when you're informed, you can make a decision that brings joy, peace, and stability. Stick around until the end, because understanding these 5 truths could help you avoid heartache and make sure any new relationship truly suits you. Whether you're thinking about remarrying soon or just curious about the idea, this is something you'll want to hear. Let's dive in. Number 1. Financial realities change after 60. One of the biggest surprises people face when remarrying later in life is how much it affects their financial picture. Many assume that remarriage is all about love and connection, but the truth is, marriage is also a legal and financial commitment. If you're not careful, it can impact your retirement savings, social security benefits, pensions, and even the inheritance you plan to leave your children or loved ones. The last thing you want is to believe marriage will make life easier, only to learn it's made your financial future more complicated. A major issue is how remarriage affects social security benefit. If you're receiving payments based on a former spouse's work history, those benefits might shrink or disappear after you remarry. This can be a real shock, especially if you're counting on that income to support your lifestyle. On top of that, pensions and survivor benefits often come with rules that change after remarriage. If either you or your partner receives pension payments, it's important to check the details before making any decision. Beyond government benefits, you'll also need to think about retirement savings and estate planning. When you remarry, your finances are no longer just about you. They now include another person's assets, debts, and spending habits. Even if you keep separate bank accounts, state laws may affect how assets are divided in a divorce or after death. If you have kids or grandkids, you'll also need to think about how a new marriage could change what they inherit. Many people assume their estate plans will stay the same, but remarriage often changes who has legal rights to your money and property. Take Robert, for example. He's 72 and remarried after being widowed. He always thought his children would inherit his estate, but after marrying again, he learned his new wife had a legal claim to his assets. This meant his kids could end up with less than he had planned. He had to go through tough conversations and update legal documents to protect the people he loved. If you're thinking about remarrying, be sure to talk with a financial advisor or estate planner. Make sure you understand how your finances, retirement, and inheritance plans could change. These talks might not feel romantic, but they're critical for securing your future. Number 2, family dynamics can get complicated. When you remarry later in life, you're not just joining 2 lives, you're bringing together family histories and expectations. While love brings 2 people close, family relationships can create challenges you didn't expect. Unlike young couples who are starting fresh, people over 60 often enter a new marriage with grown children, grandchildren, and years of established family dynamic. These connections don't always blend as smoothly as you'd hope. One of the biggest concerns is how adult children will react. Even if they want you to be happy, they may feel loyal to your former spouse or worry about how a new partner could change family routines, finances, or inheritance. Some might welcome your new spouse warmly, while others could feel uneasy, suspicious, or protective. These feelings are normal, but if not handled carefully, they can create tension that affects more than just your marriage. Relationships with grandchildren may also shift. If you've spent years as their main grandparent figure, bringing a new spouse into the picture can feel like a big change. Some grandchildren may adjust easily, while others need more time. The same applies to your new spouse's family. If they have children or grandkids of their own, Blending family traditions takes patience and effort. Another factor is how remarriage affects financial matters. It's common for children to worry that a new spouse could change your will, alter your financial plans, or receive part of what they assumed was meant for them. Even if money isn't the main focus of your new relationship, it's often a quiet concern for family members. Many conflicts don't come from greed, but from a desire to protect your legacy. Look at Susan, for example. She was 68 when she remarried after being single for over 10 years. She thought her kids would be thrilled, but instead found herself dealing with awkward questions about money, holidays, and even living arrangements. While she knew they loved her, she learned quickly that a new marriage required honest talks and thoughtful reassurance to keep the peace. If you're thinking about remarrying, take time to talk with your family. Be honest about your plans, hear their concerns, and explain what will and won't change. It might take a while for everyone to feel comfortable, but these conversations can prevent bigger issues down the road. The goal is to speak with patience, openness, and a clear message. Your decision is about finding companionship while still cherishing the bonds you've already built. If you're still watching and these insights are helping you, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend hitting that button and turning on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Your support means a lot and helps us keep creating helpful, inspiring content. Now let's keep going. Number 3. Emotional expectations are different at this stage in life. Relationships after 60 don't look the same as they did decades ago. In your younger years, marriage was about building a life together, raising kids, buying a home, growing careers. But now the focus shifts. Marriage isn't about starting fresh. It's about emotional support, shared companionship, and keeping your independence while enjoying life with someone special. This shift in priorities is something many people don't fully consider before remarrying, and it can lead to unexpected bumps. One of the biggest differences is the level of independence each person brings into the relationship. By your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you've likely built a comfortable life with daily routines, personal space, and hobbies you enjoy. A new marriage introduces someone else's lifestyle, habits, and preferences, and adjusting to that isn't always easy. Some people think remarriage will be easy if they've found the right partner, but the truth is it takes effort to navigate new boundaries, respect personal space, and honor each other's individuality. Unlike younger couples who are building financial stability, later in life marriages often involve two people who are already self-sufficient emotionally and financially. This means the reasons for marrying are more about connection, care, and enjoying life together. At the same time, both people need to be honest about what they expect, how much time to spend together, how to resolve conflicts, and how to keep their personal independence, still nurturing the relationship. Another thing to consider is your emotional history. If you've lost a spouse or gone through a difficult divorce, those feelings don't just vanish when you remarry. Both you and your partner bring decades of life experience into the new relationship, past loves, family ties, and personal beliefs about commitment. That's not a bad thing, but it does mean that being emotionally open, patient, and understanding is incredibly important. How you express love or handle disagreements might be shaped by the past, and learning how to embrace those differences is key to a strong second marriage. Consider Harold, for example. At 75, he found love again after several years as a widower. What he didn't expect was how different this relationship felt compared to his first marriage. His late wife had been by his side for decades, and their routines were second nature. His new partner, however, had been divorced for years and placed high value on her independence. It took time for them to find a rhythm, to strike a balance between closeness and space, to communicate without comparing the past, and to appreciate the uniqueness of their new life together. If you're thinking about remarrying, ask yourself, what are you truly hoping for in this relationship? Are you looking for companionship that fits into your current lifestyle? Do you want to share a home or maintain separate living spaces? Are you emotionally prepared for the challenges of merging two full lives? These answers matter and will help you build a marriage based on shared understanding, not unmet expectations. Number 4. Legal considerations matter more than you think. Marriage isn't just about emotions. It's a legal agreement. And after 60, the legal details of that agreement can be more complex than they were earlier in life. Many people think that love is enough to make a marriage work, but without knowing the legal impact, you might face complications you never expect. From prenups to medical decisions, there are key legal topics you need to discuss before tying the knot. One of the most important is estate planning. When you remarry, your new spouse may automatically gain legal rights to your assets, even if you had intended to leave them to your children, grandchildren, or other loved ones. Without a clear estate plan, your assets might be divided in ways you didn't plan. That's why many people choose to update their wills or create trusts before remarrying, making sure their wishes are honored. Another legal issue is medical decision-making. If you become ill or can't speak for yourself, who gets to make those decisions? In most cases, a spouse has automatic authority above your adult children or family members. That can lead to conflict if your new spouse and children don't agree on your care. Putting advance directives or a medical power of attorney in place can ensure your wishes are known and followed. Prenuptial agreements are another smart step. While some people feel awkward bringing them up, a prenup can actually provide clarity and protect both people. It shows that you're entering the marriage with shared expectations and a well-thought-out prenup can define how to handle finances, assets, and debts, avoiding disputes in the future. Consider Eleanor, for example. At 67, she was thrilled to be in love again and looking forward to marriage. But she also had significant assets she wanted to pass on to her kids. After talking with her fiancé, they chose to create a prenup that clearly laid out financial boundaries. It gave her peace of mind and reassured her children that their future was secure. Legal issues aren't always fun to talk about, but they are essential. If you're thinking about remarriage, sit down with a lawyer who understands estate planning and family law. Addressing these matters early can reduce stress down the road and help you focus on what truly matters: building a happy and secure relationship. If you're still watching and found this helpful, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps us continue sharing useful and inspiring content. Now let's move on. Number 5. The definition of happiness changes with age. As we grow older, our view of happiness evolves. In our younger years, marriage was about building a future, raising children, creating financial security, and building a shared life from the ground up. But after 60, happiness isn't about building, it's about enjoying what you've already built, maintaining your well-being, and finding deep fulfillment in the life you've created. That's why before remarrying, it's so important to ask yourself, does this relationship match the version of happiness you want right now? Many people believe remarriage will automatically bring them joy, but happiness in your later years often comes from very different things. For some, it's about day-to-day companionship. For others, it's about keeping independence and having someone to enjoy special moments with. And for many, it's about not having to change their lifestyle or compromise on the routines that bring them peace. The key is to understand what happiness means to you now, not what it meant 30 years ago. One common mistake is assuming love will fix loneliness. While having someone close can be comforting, personal fulfillment still needs to come from within. If you're not content on your own, marriage won't magically change that. In fact, going into marriage expecting it to complete you may lead to frustration, especially if daily life with someone feels more limiting than expected. Another thing to reflect on is lifestyle compatibility. By this stage, your routines are well defined: how you spend your mornings, how you vacation, how you socialize. If your partner lives very differently, it can create more tension than joy. Some people are spontaneous, others prefer structure. Some love lively gatherings, others find peace in solitude. If you and your partner don't match in these areas, ask yourself how much you're willing to adjust, and whether those changes would truly make you happier. Take Frank, for example. At 72, he met someone wonderful and quickly remarried, hoping it would bring back the joy he'd once had. But over time, he found that their lifestyles clashed. She wanted to travel and host frequent get-togethers. He preferred quiet days at home. While they cared deeply for each other, they struggled to connect on how to live day to day, and Frank began to miss the comfort and freedom of his single life. Before you decide to remarry,
Reflect deeply on what happiness means for you now. Do you want a traditional, fully shared life, or something more flexible, where each person keeps space and independence? Would living apart work better for you than sharing a roof? There's no right answer, only the one that feels best for your life. What matters most is that any decision you make supports the peace and joy you've built, not disrupts it. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to consider everything we've discussed. Remarrying after 60 can be a beautiful, fulfilling choice, but it comes with important realities that many people overlook until they're already deep into it. From financial questions to complex family dynamics, from emotional needs to legal matters, and most importantly, your personal vision of happiness. Each of these should be considered with care before making such a major decision. The truth is, marriage at this stage isn't about doing what's expected. It's about doing what's right for you. Some people find great joy in remarrying. Others find peace in maintaining their independence, or exploring different kinds of companionship. What matters most is choosing a path that fits your values, your lifestyle, and your emotional well-being. If this video helped you think more clearly, we encourage you to take your time, talk with your family, seek out professional advice, and most of all, tune into your own voice. There's no rush. This chapter of life is about doing what makes you truly happy, not what others think is normal or necessary. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Share something you learned in the comments, and how you might use it in your own life. Your thoughts mean a lot to us, and help guide our future videos. If this video was helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us continue creating helpful content to inform and inspire. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.